This week on the RC Shop, we take a look at a couple different fabrication techniques. We've had the Highway 1 crawler in the shop for quite a while now. It originally came in as a Marlin crawler and has taken on a second life as the Highway 1 crawler like you see here. It came from a stock Marlin to having custom doors, paint, and interior. All it needs now is a custom bed to finish off the back end. Originally I thought about modeling it in Tinkercad and then printing it out on the 3D printer, but with further consideration I decided to fully build it out of cardstock first. This gives me the advantage of being able to work out all the dimensions in real space. I'll then be able to transfer those dimensions into the computer. This should hopefully cut down on the number of prototypes needed for the end product. Speaking of, let's hold off a second and look at a second method for fabrication I used on the spur gear cover for underneath the hood. With the hood off, we can see the spur gear is very exposed in the engine bay, and I'm nervous it may snag a wire or two. The fab shop and the body shop are tied up with customer work, so I'm going to take care of this myself. I start by printing a simple shape to make sure my dimensions are correct. Then set it in place and check for fitment and figure the best way to mount it. Fit is fine, and this top motor mount bolt should work as a mounting point. Now it's back to the computer to print a second prototype with a mounting tab. All I did was add a tab and reprint. We are getting closer, but the tension bolt is getting in the way. I'll mark its location for reference. With the location marked, I head back to the computer and print a third cover. Now we have a mounting tab and a center cutout. Not bad, but I'll need to open up the mounting hole. Installs fine, but the motor mount brackets are keeping it from being perfect. As before, I'll mark for reference. Again, back to the computer for a fourth try. Hopefully this one will do the job. Nice and snug. Not bad. With a little body work, I think it'll look pretty good. Here's a quick look at the process to the end product. Each print took about an hour, so this works well for small pieces. Anything larger though, the print times might make it inefficient. With the bed of the truck, we'll use a different method that I usually use for larger pieces. But first, let's finish that body work on the spur cover. Like I said, the body shop's tied up, so I'll do it myself. Starting with sanding down the high points. With the high points knocked down and smoothed out, I add spot putty to the whole piece and sand again. There's usually a reason I have the body shop do this work. I get runs in the paint. I'll have the body shop clean up this mess when they get some free time, but for now it'll be okay. Let's take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we'll look at that second fabrication method on the bed.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directive. We have created for the first time in all history a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from pests of any contradictory true thought. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
This month, TandemCTelevision introduced their Patreon page, and you will see why 2019 won't be like 2019. Now available in the online store. Welcome back. With larger pieces, I find it to be a better idea to mock up in cardstock first. This helps keep costs down, but it also helps me better visualize spatial relationships and dimensions in the real world instead of in the digital world. I've already built the base of the bed. I'll build from here with basic shapes. Remember, keep it simple. Details can be added later. I need to start by removing the areas for fenders. With the wheel cutouts made, I'll start roughing in a headache rack. Remember, keep it simple. We just want to figure out overall size. I trace from the cab for its shape. Every flatbed needs a toolbox, so I start mocking toolboxes that'll fit in front of the rear wheels. The final piece will have a working door and will be a functioning toolbox. I also want to add a little shape to the back of the bed, and now's the time to work that out. I think it's coming together pretty well. With it sat on the truck, fitment is pretty good. I think I may angle these bottom corners of the toolboxes. I'm about out of time this week, so we're gonna have to finish this bed next week. And also don't worry, we're gonna get back to Bull Gear and finish up his interior. So to summarize, there's two basic ways that I use to fabricate parts. Either I prototype using the 3D printer, or I build out of cardstock first. This really depends on the size of the piece that I'm trying to fab. The smaller the piece, I find it easier to do on a 3D printer, but larger pieces, it's gonna be easier to use cardstock and build from there. And then of course, in some pieces, we're gonna do both. I hope this was helpful for you guys out there building your own rigs. Thank you for watching, and a big thank you to my patrons. The first exclusive Patreon build starts this week, so if you want to take part in that, go hit up the Patreon page for as little as $1 a month. Leave a like if you enjoyed what you saw, hit the subscription button if you haven't already, and leave me a comment down below about what you think. See you next time, bye-bye.